Give me a little intro there, Gomer.
There's no turning back now.
Let's put on the show.
You're listening to the Station 71 podcast. My name is Beth, and this week I am joined by my co-host,
Mario,
Brian,
and Kirsten.
Nice. A little mix up to keep everybody on their toes.
Yeah. So this week we're kind of foregoing the news and talking about a lot of news.
Yes.
For the people that are joining us on our Discord while we record this, today was Disney Plus Day, which means we got a lot of Disney Plus announcements. We're going to go over a bunch of those, talk about some of the cool stuff that's coming, and maybe share some things we're excited about.
Yeah. So we just want to take it from the top of this Disney Plus Twitter thread and make our way down?
That sounds like a plan. I mean, there's a lot here, but...
Yeah, so I guess, first of all, it was kicked off by Emily Blunt and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? They did this little video just saying, like, welcome to Disney Plus Day, because, hey, Jungle Cruise is one of the things that's premiering today on Disney Plus, right?
Yes.
Have you guys watched it? I still haven't seen it.
I saw it in theaters.
I really liked it.
I very much liked it too.
Ooh,
I've heard good things, yeah. So I'm excited to.
I was on the fence. I'm gonna try to be like spoiler free. I was on the fence when it came out, but we saw it twice in theaters because I liked it that much.
Wow.
I think it does really well at trying to preserve what people love about the Jungle Cruise while also giving a unique and interesting story to tie into, I guess, not really even the lore of the attraction, but the lore of the world that they're building. So I thought it was very good.
Nice.
I definitely think that it's more like I can see how people who like Disney World, like the Jungle Cruise, would like it a lot more than people who have never ridden the Jungle Cruise.
So trying to think about how this compares to like other attraction movies, right? Like there's such this weird caliber of like, okay, Pirates of the Caribbean launched an entire franchise. And then there's like the Haunted Mansion and Country Bears. So there's like this weird scale of like attraction movies, right? I feel like this is closer to Pirates of the Caribbean, but probably not as good, but still really good.
Nice. Maybe I'll try to get around to it this weekend.
Yeah, definitely watch it, and we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because
Twitter thread.
Oh yeah, if someone can link that to me, that would be
It
awesome.
is.
Episode
Go to the
discussions.
episode discussion thread. It's linked right there.
Oh, okay.
I'll
What were
pin
you gonna
it
say, Brian?
too.
Kirsten said that the Jungle Cruise movie would have been really good for people that like the Jungle Cruise attraction. So, Mario, I know you said you saw it, and you also saw Muppets Haunted Mansion, which I think we all said is a huge treat if you're a fan of the Haunted Mansion. So, like, is it even more so like that with Jungle Cruise?
I would say it's less Muppets Haunted Mansion and more its own thing. It's got like Muppets Haunted Mansion does this thing really well where it plays to like the audiences of the Muppets and the Haunted Mansion, and it doesn't really try to be its own thing. It knows exactly who it's going for, and that's exactly it. I think the Jungle Cruise kind of similarly does that, but in a way that's like they could potentially be targeting people that aren't necessarily park fans as well. Like you don't have to be a park fan to really enjoy this. Whereas I think Muppets Haunted Mansion needed to be one or the other.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see the Muppets being enjoyable for people who, I don't know. I'm not really a huge Muppet fan. but I thought the movie was cute, but also it's because it was like so clearly like Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think it's hard to compare like like something like the Muppets to that, like a live action, like drama kind of movie. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it's kind of apples and oranges.
And what's funny is like that movie really does do a very good job of trying to keep the silly nature that the Jungle Cruise has, but it is at its heart a drama, like you said, like adventure drama movie. It's really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I did too.
Cool. That's always comforting to hear.
I also had very low expectations going into it.
So do
But-
I. So maybe that's the way to go about it.
I was
I mean,
excited because I love Emily Blunt. Like, how cool is she? She like has an amazing husband. She was in The Devil Wears Prada. She has an English accent. Like, she has it all, man.
She's
Well,
got it going on.
the funny thing is, like, my low expectations were from The Rock, and honestly, he was really good in this movie. I think
Yeah, he was.
Emily Blunt is just like you expect her to be good, though. I agree with that.
Perfect. Gorgeous.
So we also had debut on Disney Plus today, Xiangchi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which I saw in theaters. Has anybody else seen it?
Nope.
No.
No. I know Brian hasn't seen it because he's seen like 2 Marvel movies.
Yeah, this one's pretty low on my list right now.
I'm slowly catching up. I'm to the first Spider-Man. What, Homecoming?
Have you
Something-
watched it yet?
Well, so it's not free anywhere. So we rented it on Amazon and then we watched part of it and then we forgot to finish it. So now we have to rent it again, which is really annoying.
Oh no.
No.
Well,
I feel
it's
like
worth
saying
it.
you forgot to finish a movie isn't very high praise for it.
know,
Homecoming is
Yeah.
really good though.
We have a 4-year-old. You'll understand soon enough. You'll understand. Come at me, bro.
Get back to her in 4 years.
Exactly. Or just,
when you
know,
can hardly
one.
finish Spider-Man.
We also had Home Sweet Home Alone, which I don't know how I feel about it.
That looks terrible.
It does look terrible.
It looks so bad.
Is Catherine O'Hara going to be in it?
I have no idea.
That might improve
I feel
it.
like it's a whole new cast.
Okay, then I don't care because Catherine O'Hara is cool.
Yeah. The World According to Jeff Goldblum season 2.
I
haven't
never
watched
finished the
that.
first one.
No, I didn't either. Like
I didn't finish it either, but I thought it was interesting in the weirdest, quirkiest way.
like you really have to like Jeff Goldblum in
Right.
a heavy dose to like that series.
For sure.
I
If you
feel
don't
like
like him, you're not
people
gonna
love
like
him.
it.
I feel like there's like a weird like Jeff Goldblum cult where people are like obsessed with him.
I think there is too, and I mean I kind of get it. He's like a weird, quirky guy. He's intriguing. But I think it can be kind of off-putting as well to some people.
Yeah.
Olaf Presents. I am super excited to watch.
I just want to know where the royalty check is for this one because I feel like Kirsten and I talked about this like after Frozen 2.
I've been talking about this since Frozen 2 came out. Yeah. So like you're welcome, Bob.
Kirsten came up with this idea, if I recall correctly.
I'm pretty sure she did.
It's like literally how could you watch Frozen 2 and not immediately think like, oh my God, I just want a whole show of Olaf doing every single Disney movie or every movie or just narrating my life. I don't care.
Yeah, it just
So-
makes sense.
Something I want to talk about with that too, because I was just looking at it on the Disney Plus app before we started recording. They did this really neat thing where they put all of them in one episode. So if you want to binge it, you can actually, instead of going through each individual one, there's one at the end that's 11 minutes long that you can click on and just watch all of them.
Oh,
Good. That'll be
interesting.
good for my just spoken about 4-year-old. But also like they need more. I want like hours of this content.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
surprised
already-
that it
I'm
only
already-
launched with 5-ish.
Yeah, I'm already displeased that there's only 5.
I think if it's successful, which it will be, they'll probably let Josh Gad out of the basement to do some more. All right, so there was some other stuff, but we don't want to get too caught in the weeds. So let's go back to the announcements and talk about Ice Age, which feels really weird to discuss in a Disney conversation, but they own it now.
I'm surprised they're doing
to let
things.
it die.
They could have let it die, and I would have been completely okay
Or
with it.
if they were going to do something, just make it all about that little squirrel. I mean,
Yeah,
he's really the star.
he really is. It's just, I mean, and I don't mean any disrespect to the animators because I'm sure they worked very hard on this film, but man, Ice Age is so ugly. The character design is just so ugly to me.
I feel like it's the downfall of when you have that long running of a series that it's like you can't drastically change the way the characters look or it's not going to fit in with the old ones. But yeah, now that it's 15-ish years later, it's like, oh man, yeah, stuff has progressed a lot, but we got to make them still look like that.
Well,
Yeah.
what is Sid exactly? What kind of creature? Because it's like usually when you make an what?
A sloth, right?
That's what I always thought, right? I was just making sure before I sounded stupid. But like usually when you see something animated, the animals look like so cute, like almost cuter than real life. But with Ice Age, they all look like worse.
Yeah.
It's like here's a sloth but uglier.
Mm-hmm.
Like here's a saber-toothed tiger but freakier looking. I don't know.
Well, even like the people, I feel like in the original Ice Age were kind of uncanny valley looking too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
I
to be fair, I only saw like the first Ice Age movie, I think. I did not see any subsequent Ice Age movies. And the story was cute enough that I could be like, all right, this is fine. But it's like at a certain point, we get it. You know, they're Ice Age animals doing crazy stuff, trying to survive. Like, how many stories can you tell about that?
I mean, look at the Land Before Time.
at this
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
Oh,
That's very true. That's very true.
hey, I enjoyed all of the Land Before Time sequels when I was a child.
No,
When you
okay.
were a child is the key to that sentence, Brian.
I'm
watched
sorry, when I was the target audience.
Yes, exactly.
We watched the first one with Eli, and oh my god, it's so depressing. Like I always knew it was
it is.
sad,
So
but
sad.
Yeah.
good Lord, it's terrible. Like this is what? Like why did what did they do to us as children? This is why all millennials have anxiety. Like
Yeah.
Oh my
that's-
gosh, yeah.
That's not wrong.
I love that Dani said the actual Ice Age didn't last as long as the franchise has.
I mean,
It's not wrong.
But weren't they even like in the later ones going back and there were dinosaurs and stuff? And
there's
like,
dinosaurs
come
in
on
this
now.
trailer. I have it on silent, and
That's
it's
not
loading.
accurate.
Wait, is this a fever dream or was Nicki Minaj a character in one of them?
I think she was.
Like, I feel like that speaks volumes.
Mammoth, right?
Was she the girl mammoth?
I don't think she
Yes.
was the. Was she? I don't.
Queen Latifah, I do remember in like the second one, I think.
But that's a
But-
big stretch. Like, that's a big difference. Queen Latifah is like cool and was like in Chicago. Nicki Minaj is questionable.
Wow. Drake and Nicki Minaj, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Drake
You're
needs to
welcome.
get his life together.
Wow. They were really reaching there. They were like, how do we get people to watch these movies again?
You're welcome for that fever dream.
It really felt like one. Moving on, we have
Yes,
the
please.
Bmx Original Series, which looks super cute,
Excited.
as does all things that Baymax is involved in. Excited to see him again. I love him as a character so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for this, and I'm interested to see the show. But I also wonder, like, how much can they do with this? And I kind of hope that it doesn't go on too far.
Yeah.
There could be all kinds of stuff about Baymax. Like, I was really hoping for a Big Hero 6 2, like the movie.
There is a Big Hero 6 series too.
Yeah.
Animated series, but I have not watched that.
Yeah, I haven't either. Maybe I should, I guess. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Watch it.
We also have Cheaper by the Dozen remake of a remake, which
Oh boy.
I said this in the chat earlier, would normally have not cared at all about this, but then I found out my boy Zach Braff is involved, and now I'm all for it.
That does change things.
I personally really enjoyed both Cheaper by the Dozens, the original and the remake. So I'll watch it.
I didn't see the original. The remake was fine. Like, I didn't have any problems with it. It's, I guess an interesting, funny concept of having 12 kids and the shenanigans that go along with that. But, man, I don't know how extensively I've talked about this on the show before or to you guys, but Zach Braff's my number one. He's like my weird celebrity crush. And I will support him in anything he does. So now I'm stoked about Cheaper by the Dozen. Yeah, Cheaper by the Dozen, y'all.
Not the sentence I thought we would be saying on this show.
But I gotta say, I am even more excited about Disenchanted, which Enchanted apparently just aired today, like on Disney Plus.
That's
the first
wild
time.
to me. Like, that should have been on Disney Plus.
Right,
on
that's
release.
what I was kind of confused about. But yeah, I'm super excited for Disenchanted. I loved Enchanted. Laz hasn't seen it, so we're gonna watch it soon.
He hasn't seen Enchanted?
I know.
Oh,
we'll
it's
get
so
stoked
good.
for this one.
I've only seen it
I
once.
feel like that's Enchanted is like one of the best movies I feel like to watch if you're not a huge Disney fan, because it does kind of poke fun at a lot of the stereotypical stuff.
Right.
So.
Okay, question, because I really don't even remember it that much. Is Susan Sarandon a villain in that movie?
Yeah, she's
because I feel like every time there's you're thinking about who would be good in this movie and there's a villain, I'm always like, oh my God, Susan Sarandon would be such a good villain. And I'm like, why do I think that? But I think it's because of Enchanted.
Enchanted.
well, that's why.
Yeah, that movie is a top tier.
Yeah.
And I always forget that, like, Indina Menzel is
Adele
kind
Dazeem.
of doing nothing in that movie.
I know.
It's good. It's like, oh wow, that's cool, but I mean, why is she here?
I
Because
hope
it was
she
a
has
musical.
a bigger role because, like, I feel like you're right that she was totally underutilized for what a talented performer she is.
I feel like she's way more popular now than she was then.
Maybe that's it. Because it felt weird, like, watching it somewhat recently and being like, oh wow, she's here. And then, not really doing anything. And then it's also really weird that she's like the one that gets dumped and didn't do like anything wrong in that movie. It's just
I know. Don't you feel so bad for her character?
I've
always,
always,
it all works out, obviously, but
right? Because she like gets with the Prince Charming dude at the end, right?
Yeah.
They kind of, I feel like they were shooting that movie and they got to the end and they were like, oh my God, we forgot about Indina Menzel. Give her Prince Charming and let's close that up.
I gotta say, I think Disney was kind of lucky that they involved her in this, though, because it might have been harder to get her on board if, now that she's much more popular than she was back then. If they tried to, go back and get her now, but since she was involved in the first one, she's kind of like, oh, well, I mean, here I am.
I feel like she was like a huge Broadway star.
Right.
But I feel like she didn't become a household name until Frozen.
Yeah. I was just talking about that earlier this week. In the library that I work in, we always have a puzzle going for the kids to do at lunch and between classes and whatever. And this one was Broadway playbills. And I was saying to one of my coworkers how it grinds my gears when people call Idina Menzel the girl from Frozen.
Yes.
I'm like,
From
no,
Rent.
she's from Rent. She's from Wicked. She's always been so talented and such a household name in Broadway households that now everybody's like finally opened their eyes. Jonathan Groff too, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like that's such a niche thing to be a big star on, that like a small demographic knows about it, but throw someone
Broadway
in a
is
Disney
not
movie.
niche.
I mean, compared to the market of people that know her from Frozen, absolutely it is.
Well, I would say for like, in regards to like a lot of popular media, yeah, it's definitely a niche thing that unless you are into it, you don't hear about those people.
Yes.
I mean, but that's also super aggravating because there's a lot of talent on there. Is what I was gonna say. Is it feels like such a small thing to be big on in the grand scheme of like Frozen.
Yeah. So then we also have a couple of announcements regarding Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Does anyone care?
We can skip over that one.
Didn't they already try doing this once and it didn't work out?
They did a live action one, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
I feel like our age group was too old for this when it became popular. Am I right?
Yeah, I think it was. I remember, I think we were on the tail end of that, if anything.
Which, I'm not knocking it. If anybody out there loves Diary of a Wimpy Kid or is in our age group and loves Diary of a Wimpy Kid, God knows I watched tons of things that I was past the demographic age of. But this just did not speak to me. I feel like the animation, like the characters are all really ugly and I'm not a middle school boy, so...
I mean, I feel like our generation had things like this. Like, I remember Captain Underpants was a thing. And
again, not a middle school boy.
I mean, I feel like this is going to be big for kids in this generation. Like, that'll be nice for them, but eh.
Yeah. All right, so then we got the Beatles Get Back. Peter Jackson's 3-part event beginning November 25th.
This is a weird one.
This is a very weird one.
There's a very weird combination of this being about the Beatles on Disney Plus and directed by Peter Jackson.
Right.
Three very opposite ends of the triangle.
Weird Venn diagram going on here.
I don't know if you guys have watched any of the other documentaries that are on Disney Plus, like not the ones that were specifically made for Disney Plus, but the ones that are on there. They have a good lineup of them. And like the ones that I've watched are pretty good. So I feel like this will probably be pretty good, but this does not strike me on any levels. Like I have almost no interest in watching this.
Peter Jackson's the only thing that's really got me intrigued.
I mean, I think the trifecta of the three together is what's got me intrigued, but I don't know it's enough to make me watch this.
Are any of y'all big Beatles fans?
Will is.
Not particularly.
Yeah, me either. I love Across the Universe more than the Beatles, to be completely honest. But obviously have a lot of respect for the Beatles and all of, how vastly they influenced music and culture of their time and beyond, but...
Beat their wives.
Oh, did they do that?
John Lennon did.
I was about to say, we know at least one of them did. So.
Yikes.
Anyway.
Let's talk about the most exciting news.
Is this the most exciting news?
No.
It's still very exciting.
We got Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers live action animated hybrid, if I was reading that correctly.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers?
I actually am sad because I hate John Mulaney because he makes fun of people with dwarfism and uses the M word, and so I will not be watching this. But otherwise, I would have been excited.
Here's my thing with it is that, and I was talking to Laz about this earlier. So Chip and Dale as characters, right? I was never like obsessed with Rescue Rangers or really Chip and Dale in general, but like to me, it was always kind of a dichotomy between Chip being the kind of level-headed, more responsible-ish one, and then Dale being just like a complete idiot doofus, like absent-minded, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
So
yeah.
how are they going to do that with two goofy actors? You know what I mean? Like it to me comes across as like they're both going to be goofy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to work, but not at the top of my watch list, to be frank.
The one thing that's like super turning me off about it is the live action animated hybrid stuff. I love Andy Samberg, so I was really excited to see him cast in that, but
Have y'all ever seen either of these actors play a serious role though? Or like a semi-serious role?
No.
Haven't they always been kind of the goofy dum-dum characters?
Yeah, for the most part, I think.
Not like knocking them as actors or anything, because I've seen some of the stuff that they've been in, and they're not bad actors. They're just comedic, and I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a balance with Chip and Dale, so we'll see.
I mean, that's also like that weird symptom of Disney trying to make smaller animated things have more life in the 90s, like Tailspin and everything. So who knows if they're even going to go that route with this? It could just be total comedy, and then it'll just like totally destroy our childhood.
Yeah, they do like to do that from time to time.
Stop trying to make live action happen.
Yeah,
right.
Before we move on to the next one, though, I want to talk about the fact that the tweet under the video announcing it says the reboot came out 30 years ago, and it's got the diary thing on it, or the script in chipmunk size, which I thought that was pretty funny when they announced it with that.
Yeah, that is cute.
Anyhow.
So next we have Better Nate Than Ever, an original movie streaming on Disney Plus in spring 2022, which is based on a young adult novel of the same title. Never read it.
If anybody is going to take a young adult novel and adapt it into a successful movie, it's Disney. So,
yeah. I don't know. I have no idea what it's about. I have no idea any of them. I'm excited about Norbert Leo Butz, and that's pretty much all I got here. Lisa Kudrow, too.
The summary on IMDb is 13-year-old Nate Foster is an unpopular Midwestern kid who entertains a vivid fantasy of becoming a big Broadway musical star. In the meantime, however, Nate can't even get a decent role in his middle school drama production, getting cast as a tree in chorus instead of the lead role he craves. So,
an underdog story.
However, when he and his best friend Libby mastermind a daring trip to New York City without their parents' knowledge to audition for Lilo and Stitch the musical, Nate may be on the verge of fulfilling his lifelong dream.
That is a weird kind of like.
This sounds
meta.
Shoehorn.
This is where Disney announces Lilo and Stitch on Broadway.
Oh God, this sounds like one of those just like a Disney Channel original movie. Honestly,
kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's the new Disney Plus original movie is the new DCOM. We'll see. Maybe I'll have to go read the book and see how it is. In ultra exciting news, this might be the thing I'm the most excited about. They are currently filming Hocus Pocus 2, and we got our first looks at
Can we
the
talk
characters.
about how, like, this
Old
first
day
look?
excuse me, bite your tongue.
I was going to say that all looks so like good. That.
I mean, but they look so old.
SJP is a queen, and she looks amazing. And Bette Midler. Kathy Najimy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love them. But I'm interested to see how this fits into the story. I was talking about it with Laz, and he was saying, it's like, oh, their spell is not working, and they're aging like normal people or something. They're going to have to retcon it somehow to get them
Wasn't there
You know.
like a Hocus Pocus sequel book that was like a young adult thing a few years ago? I feel like I saw that on the shelf at Target or something.
That sounds familiar.
Let's see.
Either way, Hocus Pocus is a classic. I'm very excited about the sequel because, obviously these three are involved. I feel like it's going to be a good situation.
If you like Bette Midler and SJP together, y'all should watch First Wives Club. It is a true 90s classic. It's so funny.
I'll have to add it to my ever-growing list.
Diane Keaton is also in it, and Goldie Hawn. So good.
Fun fact or fun story while Mario's looking up whatever he's looking up is that apparently a few weeks ago, my best friend Joshua texted me and said that Kathy Najimy was at the bar at Rainforest Cafe at Disney Springs where he worked, and she sat there for about an hour just chilling and drinking and having a good time. And the bartender, who is friends with Joshua, did not know who she was, and therefore Joshua did not find out about it until after she was gone, and he was extremely mad at his friend.
What?
Yeah. I was like, I would have been pretty pissed at my friend too if that happened.
So basically, the sequel book is the 17-year-old daughter of Max and Allison gets wrapped up in the Sanderson sisters somehow, and that's pretty much all I've got from reading this synopsis.
Okay. I like the "Witch Please" at the top of this book cover. So we also got, I guess, a little more info on the newest upcoming live action remake that Disney is so fond of these past few years of Pinocchio.
I do not care.
I also do not
Pinocchio,
care.
like, it's scary. It's just like weird and freaky as an animated movie. I feel like it's just going to be like worse as a live action.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to need to dial it back a little bit.
Like, I don't want to see boys turn into donkeys.
Right.
Like, in real life.
That's already haunting enough animated.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll watch it.
I probably will
But
not.
I'll watch it with disdain in my heart.
I'm sure they care about the feelings you have as you're giving them ratings.
Yeah. They super care. We got Limitless with Chris Hemsworth announced, an original series from National Geographic where basically Chris Hemsworth just does crazy stuff in exotic places.
Yeah. I'm not
Whether or
like,
not I watch this will depend on how often he is shirtless.
I was
That's-
just about to
Hey.
say there is a target demographic for this, and it's not me.
I don't have
It's
like
me!
a lot of celebrity crushes. Like I don't really pay attention. Like my aunt met Channing Tatum in the airport and sent me a picture, and I was like, "Who is that?"
Oh my god.
But when I saw that one of these pictures of him on this, I was like, "Dang."
I mean, the dude is objectively
Yeah.
attractive. And Disney knows what they're doing. Even in this little short
Oh yeah.
Twitter post, he's shirtless like 4 or 5 times in this thing. So, I mean, they know what they're doing with their marketing.
They knew who they're
As,
targeting.
as I believe it was Chance said when they announced that the sexiest man alive went to Paul Rudd this year, he said, "How is it not Chris Hemsworth every year?"
I mean, like, he makes a very valid point. I mean,
Yeah, I'll probably give it a try. Just based on the trailer alone, he takes his shirt off like 6 times. It bodes
I'll
well.
watch it.
Kirsten, she's like, I didn't know about celebrity crushes till now.
I mean, I have like weird, like, okay, y'all know my embarrassing celebrity crush, so
Yeah, Steven Tyler, right?
yes.
you get enough of them toes.
Oh God, no! We're moving on. We're not talking about the toes.
Meanwhile, in other weird Nat Geo celebrity crossovers, let's talk about the next one.
Wait, I want to give a plug for our Patreon here. If you really want to hear about the toes, go and listen to one of our post shows where Kirsten sent us pictures of Steven Tyler's toes and we discussed.
Actually, I think it was me.
Okay, Mario sent pictures of Steven Tyler's toes. No, take it away. Take it back. Mario, take it back. Those toes haunt me.
But otherwise, like, you know.
But otherwise, he looks like a cool grandma, so it's okay. Anyway, so another National Geographic release, as Mario was starting to say, is Welcome to Earth featuring Will Smith. Which, what is this kind of same concept, but less shirtless and more travel?
Yeah,
and
they're
Will Smith?
doing all the stuff that you actually have to wear clothes for on this one, and then
I don't
all the
know. I saw
shirtless
him
one
go
goes to Chris
underwater.
Hemsworth.
They're like, Will Smith's a little bit older than Chris Hemsworth, so we're not going to make him take his shirt off as much. And then, another National Geographic, America the Beautiful, which nature documentary about our wonderful country of the United States and all the beautiful creatures that live here.
Yeah, I don't really care
This
about
seems
that.
like pretty standard Nat Geo fare.
Yeah.
Not super exciting to, I feel like, Americans because we know about all of this stuff. You know, sometimes when I watch a nature documentary, it's exciting because I'm like seeing stuff that I haven't seen my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
You know? This to me is like, don't get me wrong. I love animals
I'm
of
sorry,
all
I'm
kinds.
watching this right now. Have you ever seen an alligator being born? Because I've not. And I just saw that. Oh my God.
I guess
I'm
that's
sure
fair.
someone in Florida has.
I just saw
that's probably true.
in slow-mo.
Oh my gosh.
I
do like owls and sea lions.
They need to talk about how we're destroying our beautiful country with the...
They probably won't.
I was going to say, that's too political. That's, even though it's true.
At least our children will have this movie to watch when, you know...
There you go.
They're in Mad Max Wasteland.
Yeah, when they're living underground in bunkers in some weird dystopia. They can watch this and think about how it used to be.
Well, this is depressing. Moving on.
And speaking of weird dystopias, let's talk about Sneakerella.
You remember when we said Disney stopped doing live action movies that are just retelling of the story? This is not what we meant.
Yeah.
I know now it's like, you know what? Yeah, just do the remakes. That's okay. Like, just do the regular remakes. Sorry we said anything.
Like, I like the idea of having some sort of Cinderella story from the male perspective. This just seems like...
This ain't it.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have moved away from the shoe part.
No,
they went full in on the shoe, actually.
Like, I don't know, maybe, but you know, there are people who are like major sneakerheads, so...
Oh, yeah. Jeff Goldblum, The World According to Jeff Goldblum, he had a whole episode about this.
Like, I don't
how
really
obsessed people are with sneakers.
But I feel like the people who would enjoy a Cinderella retelling and the people who are sneakerheads, that Venn diagram is two circles. Like,
you're right, that don't touch.
Exactly.
I also love how I've watched this very short ad and I can already tell that Adidas paid a ton of money to Disney.
I also want to point out, how do you lose a sneaker like that? It was like a high top sneaker. His foot had to hurt to lose that shoe. I'm not buying it.
The other thing that weirdly enough, I saw this poster for it too, and for some reason it made me think of the Trolls World Tour poster.
Yeah, it's the same vibe.
I'm trying to like share the pictures of them because then.
Oh yeah, it's definitely same vibe there. James
Clearly,
Corden is
I feel like
Biggie.
the concept was engineered by a man who doesn't understand how easy it is to walk out of a high heel.
Right.
Because losing a sneaker and losing a high heel are not the same.
Two completely different concepts. Well, in better news, we had a sneak peek, a trailer for the Proud Family Louder and Prouder original sequel series to the Proud Family show. I was a fan back in the day. I'm excited to see what they got in store for us. I think it's nice that the animation stays very true to the original style of the show, but it's more modernized and looks obviously a lot better than it did before.
Bringing in a lot of big names on this, too.
Heck yeah, they are. You got Lizzo, Gabrielle
But
Union, who
again.
also, I forgot to mention, was Cheaper by the Dozen, Zach Braff's counterpart.
Well, yeah.
Lil Nas
Lil Nas
X,
X.
Leslie
Let's not
Odom
forget
Jr.,
And the big one at the end.
Carlos Mencia.
Yeah, what has he been doing? Jeez.
Who is
They
that?
pulled him out of nowhere.
Kirsten said it was that. It's
was
okay that you
yeah.
don't know.
You
He's
don't
one of the
wanna know.
one of the worst stand-up comedians.
You know, it's so funny to me that he, like, everybody almost universally hated him for, like, stealing jokes. And it's like, Jesus, he stole those jokes. They were terrible. Like,
Right?
why not just steal better jokes?
Yeah, for real. But I'm excited to see what Sugar Mama's up to. How's she been doing?
Have they said if the original cast is coming back, or are they all being revoiced?
I know definitely some of them are. Like Kyla Pratt is coming back to voice Penny, and I think the parents are the same voice actors. Other than that, I'm not sure. Who voiced Sugar Mama? Let's find
No
out.
clue.
She might be dead.
That's what I
That's
was
depressing.
wondering. It is
Distinct
sad
possibility.
to think of, but Jo Marie Payton, she is not dead. Is she coming back is the question. Yes, she is coming back. So it looks like they, if not all, most of the original cast is coming back to voice their characters.
Nice. That's exciting.
So, yeah. Bless you.
Sorry, I tried to mute my mic and I totally
You weren't
missed the
fast
button.
enough.
Make it.
So then we got High School Musical, the series, season 3 coming in 2022, as we all expected. Exciting, but not surprising by any means.
Yeah.
The Spiderweight Chronicles, a new live-action original series based on the best-selling books. I did not read these.
I didn't either.
Did anybody read these?
I
No.
read them as a kid. I could not tell you a single thing about them besides the fact that they were super tiny.
Oh, Dani said, how are you not going to talk about how High School Musical, the series, is frozen this season?
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize that, I guess. I mean, that's exciting. I hope that they do what they did in spoilers, I guess, for season 2. Go watch it if you haven't already. It's been out forever. I hope they do what they did and don't do the expected casting. You know, like they did, how they cast, like, they didn't cast Nene as Belle, and they didn't cast, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
I hope that their casting choices are better than they were.
What do you mean?
Ricky is the beast. Come on.
Oh, well, yeah. We all hate Ricky. Ricky sucks. Dani says, I'd be okay with Nene as, like, Anna. Gina should be Elsa. I could get into that. Yeah, I don't think Nene has it in her to be Elsa, to be completely honest. Her as a character. Olivia Rodrigo, maybe, but Nene as a character, I don't know. Anyway, back to Spiderweight Chronicles. Or we could just keep moving on.
So let's keep going.
It does look kind of weird, though. Like, obviously very fantasy-based, but, man, these creatures look kind of quite odd and bizarre.
Yeah, that's kind of like the point of the books, if I remember correctly, but I don't know.
Yeah. So then we have Willow, also with Warwick Davis.
Has anybody seen the original?
Me either.
But
Oh yeah, I did. I used to love it as a kid.
really, I feel like I should have Eli watch it. I mean, I'm excited just because of the representation aspect, but and Warwick Davis, I think is great. But I feel like I should watch the original maybe.
It's good, especially if you like kind of, like fantasy adventure type stuff. It's good.
All right. And then we have Under the Helmet, The Legacy of Boba Fett, original documentary special.
This is weird. Because, like, how much are they going to talk about here? Like, what are we going to talk about? The fact that he was made to sell toys?
Wow.
Here's my favorite quote from the live action Beauty and the Beast that Will and I say to each other all the time, and it applies to how I feel about this. Sounds boring. That's
that also applies to the next one for me. If you want to transition to that real quick.
The next one.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize the next one was the most exciting one.
Oh,
I thought
I
it was
was
the
about
one
to
after
say.
that.
Like, what are you talking about?
I was like, geez, Mar, this is the big one.
Oh, no, because they didn't put any pictures or anything there. I skipped right over that tweet, and I was looking at Cars on the Road, which looks absolutely horrible.
Yes. So I think Dani wanted to come on for the next one, though. Talk about Zaddy Obi-Wan.
I'm very excited for this, mostly because of the fact that Ewan McGregor is coming back. Like, that's exciting. I'm trying to not get excited about it, mostly because it's coming in 2022, and that feels so far away.
It's not far away.
It's a month and a half away.
Yeah, but I mean, are they going to drop it like early 2022, or is it going to be like the end of the year? Because
we'll find out. Hi, Dani.
Hi.
How are you today?
Excited. Gonna go see Star Wars for the Disney Plus Day at AMC here in a couple hours.
That's
Nice.
fun.
Yeah,
You
super
wrecked
stoked.
by the Taylor version of Red?
No, I'm not okay. I don't want to. Let's talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi and not how Taylor Swift almost made me consider breaking up with my boyfriend just so I could really feel the feelings that album deserves.
Oh, man.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
It's the name, right? Originally it was just Kenobi, right?
I think so. I feel like I remember that.
I feel like it was originally just Kenobi and now it's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
They wanted to avoid any confusion.
All the Kenobis out there.
Yeah. I don't want you to think of the wrong Kenobi.
Exactly. No, I'm super excited that Deborah Chow is coming back because she did like arguably some of the best episodes on Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
Super stoked. From the concept art, just it works so well with like where Ewan McGregor is age-wise now.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense, but I'm curious to see how long after Order 66 this is.
Yeah,
like,
interesting.
In the concept art, he's aged, but then you also see like it. You kind of have to suspend disbelief because Sir Alec Guinness was like 70 when he did the movies, and there's only an 18-year difference from like Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and 70-year-old Sir Alec Guinness.
this is according to the IMDb 10 years after the fall of the Galactic Republic, so it's not too far. But
Yeah, yeah, another like 7 years until the events of New Hope. What's going to be
Well,
interesting.
it's all that sun on Tatooine. It ages you quick.
Listen, I understand Anakin. I don't like sand either. And I'm going to guess genuinely don't like sand, but every time I'm forced to go to a beach, I just spend the entire time quoting Anakin. And he wasn't wrong.
That's- yeah.
I did. It's
One of the Ewan
Go ahead.
McGregor saying like the most beautiful thing about this series is it brought me back with Hayden. I cried.
Aw,
Nice.
that's really nice.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what they do with Vader though, especially because like they're not going to have Hayden Christensen, I think, be in the suit the whole time. I think we might
Right.
see like Vader in like the bio chambers, or I'm really hoping we get some like flashback scenes, especially
Ooh,
like if we
yeah.
can get them in like their clone, like from the Clone Wars animated series. Like if you go back to the Clone Wars, get them in like their armor from the animated series. Also, Rosario Dawson is filming something that is not the Ahsoka show next month. That is her playing Ahsoka. So it's not the Ahsoka show, but she's filming something next month as Ahsoka. Whether that'll be Mando season 3 or if they're gonna put her into Obi-Wan somewhere. I'm very excited.
Interesting.
It'd be cool if they did, but they probably could only really do that as like flashbacks.
Yeah, or like I could, because, well, have you guys seen Rebels?
Yes.
Okay, so
No.
we see Obi-Wan in that. We see Ahsoka in that. We see these characters in Rebels. And Rebels takes place a few years after, if Obi-Wan Kenobi's happening 10 years after the events of Order 66. It would be cool because we have the Ahsoka book. But, we don't have a lot on Ahsoka during that time. Any Ahsoka representation, I'll be happy about.
Yeah, and I do think it's kind of cool that now that we have all these spin-off series that it looks like trying to put, some synergy in between all of them by featuring some of the characters and helping to tie the universe together for people that maybe aren't, as into Star Wars as others. So,
Yeah.
My big thing with Star Wars has always been that like obviously the movies focus very much on like I guess the Skywalker saga, if you want to call it that, like the general gist of that story. But the most interesting thing about Star Wars has always been the universe. And I feel like they're really like diving into that head first now. Like, Mando did a really good job of expanding on that. And I'm very excited for the next couple things that they're going to do with like
Book of Boba
like you
Fett
said.
should be really good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that like all of the little things that they're doing to kind of make it more about other characters that while they do relate back to like Vader, Anakin, Luke, and like that whole story, it's not necessarily like that's the story they're focused on.
Well, I think where Disney really messed up with Star Wars in the beginning was really focusing. I think Star Wars fans, the Skywalkers are almost untouchable. Like you can't, if the story's even like a little bit bad, if it involves the Skywalkers, it's a big deal. Whereas with these smaller characters, I feel like there's a lot more leeway with the fans.
Mm.
And like when you're creating characters like Ezra Bridger and, Kanan Jarrus and these characters that, Kanan was a youngling in the Clone Wars and, we see his relation to that. That's what works. I think the Star Wars fandom has become so toxic that like, no matter what Disney does with the Skywalkers, it's not
They lose.
minus the end of, spoiler alert, but it's been out for a year, the end of Mandalorian season 2.
Mhm.
I
Or
would
even
almost
one.
I would almost even say that like at this point that story just as somebody that is a fan of Star Wars as well, like to me it feels done. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's much else to do there. And honestly, I think that's also part of my biggest gripes with the newest trilogy is that, like, while I do like that they had the characters there and everything, obviously, I know we talked about the ending of that trilogy. I don't like how it ended, mostly because it feels like they felt like they had to go back there. And I like that now we're starting to, like, be in this space that, like, it's there, but it's not necessarily like this is because like everybody needs to have more connection to the Skywalkers.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done so much with, like, Han, Leia, and Luke. I mean, obviously, the story for the last movie had to change drastically because of Carrie Fisher's passing. May she rest in peace. But there was other ways they could have incorporated those characters, but it very much felt like they didn't stay true. Han, I felt like stayed pretty true, mainly because he died, and we all know that's what Harrison's wanted since, like, 79. Like, and Leia being a general was great, and I think Leia's character was really well done. I think everyone's biggest gripe was Luke, because even Mark Hamill, like, didn't like Luke, and that's where Disney messed up. Like, listen to Mark Hamill. Like, if there's one person you're going to listen to.
They also, like, it felt very much like they were trying to send off these characters and, like, sunset them each in their own movies and everything, but they could have just, like, not.
And then Carrie gave the big middle finger to Disney and just left on her own accord.
Exactly. Anyway, Kenobi.
Yeah. Though, could you imagine a young Luke as played by Sebastian Stan? Just throwing that out there. That's all I want. Anyway.
I'd be into it.
Yeah, Kenobi, I think if you look at we see Second Sister, which is another Rebels character, which makes sense. The Inquisitors are looking for the Jedi at this point. Makes sense. We're going to get some Inquisitors, it looks like. Looks like we're getting a rematch on Mustafar, which right now is very debated in the Star Wars Reddit community. Purely because, like, in New Hope, it very much seems like that's the first time Kenobi and Vader have seen each other. So that's what I'm really interested to see how they do with that.
I think there's a lot of stakes on that, right? Like, I know you were kind of going there. Like, it feels weird because if, again, Disney has the chance to do it right, or to do what they think everybody wants, which is not necessarily what everyone wants.
Yeah. I still think it looks like from one of the concept arts we got, though, we are going to see Vader's palace on Mustafar, which previously has only been in the expanded universe, and that's really exciting to me. Because Vader's palace, I mean, like, of course, this emo dude decides to put the place where he, like, suffered the most trauma, be like, that's where I want my palace. Our little emo boy.
Yeah.
But overall, like, the concept, I wish we would have gotten more. From what I understand, this sizzle reel was what was shown at Investors Day last year. Because filming for Kenobi finished, like, a month and a half ago. So filming's done. But I wish we would have. I was a little disappointed we didn't get, like, an actual trailer today. But
yeah,
it when it drops, it might be the best day of my life. Minus, like, if they decide to do, like, a Kylo Ren prequel series.
Oh yeah, I bet you'd love that, huh?
Yeah, listen, I had to throw Kylo Ren in somehow.
She had to work him in.
It's part of the contract with inviting me to come talk. I have to push push Kylo somehow. But overall, like, I think Kenobi's going to be amazing. I think that it has high expectations, but I think the fans have wanted this for so long because Ewan McGregor was, like, arguably the best part of the prequels.
But that's not even debatable.
I was about to say, I don't think that's arguable. I think that's fact.
I don't know. The love sequences between Padme and Anakin are pretty up there for me.
I do wonder, and this is, like, just me with thinking that The Mandalorian was, like, the perfect next steps for Disney and Star Wars. I wonder how accessible this is going to be to new people to the franchise, right? Like, it feels like, I mean, I'm kind of going back to the whole thing of like, they need to stay away from the Skywalker story, but I think that they could do enough here because Obi-Wan Kenobi, while he's a major character in the story, like, it's not all about him. So they could really expand on his character a lot and also do enough original stuff that this would feel like you could jump in here and be, you know, primed and ready to go just from watching the series. And I think that that's the best way that they could take this. I hope that it's not exclusively for Star Wars fans, because that would be just kind of a major miss.
As like a casual,
I think like, I mean, in the,
like, I think I'm interested because like I know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is and I like him, and for me, I'm more interested if it does involve the Skywalkers, just because like those are the characters I know, those are the characters I like. I don't know anything about the expanded universe because I like haven't watched any of the other shows. I don't read any of the books, whatever. So like that to me, the Skywalkers are familiar, so I'm interested in that. So like that makes me interested in Kenobi, whereas like just something that's kind of random and doesn't involve anything with this guy, like The Mandalorian, I kind of got like tired of, to be quite honest, which you'll probably hate me for that.
That's
but
fair.
yeah. No, I mean, I'm rewatching season 2 right now, and there's definitely, it's dry at some points. Like, there are some dry points in that show, but I think what's going to be really exciting is, like, we've had the extended universe stuff of what Kenobi did while he was watching over Luke, and we got a little bit in Rebels, but for the most part, like, it is really a uncharted territory, and I think that's what's going to help is building upon. But I mean, Kenobi's the thing I'm most excited for, but like there was also a lot of other Star Wars news today that they could have announced and didn't, and that's really upsetting. Like Andor just finished filming as well. So I don't know why we didn't get anything for Andor. We didn't get anything for the Acolyte, which has also just started filming. So like, while Kenobi was exciting news, I feel like Star Wars really got the short end of the stick today. Because really, it was only Kenobi that was announced. Like, not even announced. It was only, we got a sizzle reel.
And Boba Fett under the helmet.
But that's, I get what you're saying, Dani.
Yeah, I'm just picking.
The last year, I feel like Investor Day had so much. But today, it really felt like they just we didn't get a ton of new news that was exciting. Like, yes, Chris Hemsworth climbing mountains shirtless is very exciting. But it's not like what I feel like the majority of people go to Disney Plus for.
Well, yeah. I think the other thing with it too is like, it's this weird thing that Disney's been doing where they'll announce a bunch of stuff and then they kind of pull back on it, right? Like we talk about that with the parks all the time. Like, where is the stuff that, you know, got announced at D23 2-3 years ago? Like that feels like that's all we're going to get again this year. And I think that that's just the space that Disney occupies right now, which is really unfortunate. But
yeah, well, and they also, like, from everything I understand, when the sequels came out, they very much tried to do the Marvel approach, which is like get it out all as quickly as possible and announce everything as quickly as possible. And that like clearly didn't go well for them. So I'm wondering if, because I mean, we got a ton of Marvel stuff today.
Mm-hmm,
I also think Marvel's in a much better place than Star Wars is right now. But
even, I mean, you can make the case that Marvel's in a weird in between because Endgame felt like such an ending.
Yeah.
That even now, like watching Xiangchi, which half of you haven't seen it, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even seeing Xiangchi, like, it still kind of feels disconnected. Make sure you watch the end credit scenes, but like it still feels very disconnected from Marvel. Same with like I saw Eternals, and it feels very disconnected. I mean, you got like one joke about vibranium and like a mention of Thanos.
Yeah.
You know,
they're trying to I don't know, ease the transition, I guess.
Yeah.
But
well, they kind of have to reset now. And
right.
Yeah.
It's like Dani said, it's in a weird in-between period.
Yeah. I feel like until really, I think Multiverse of Madness is going to pull a lot together just from
Mhm.
like the cast and like who all is going to be in it. I feel like Multiverse of Madness is going to end up being kind of how Captain America Civil War wasn't an Avengers movie, but it was kind of an Avengers movie.
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy seeing the difference between Star Wars and Marvel, which are like the two biggest IPs Disney owns. And it was just, I was disappointed with Disney Plus Day today overall. Like, I felt like nothing new really got announced. Or like we got confirmation of Agatha Harkness's show, but like that was announced like a month ago that was happening. Disney just like confirmed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the announcements today were here's an update on this thing we already announced, or here's a first look at this thing we already announced.
Though, like, Ciao Alberto was really cute. The Olaf Presents were really cute. So, like, I liked that new content, but I felt like that was the only new content we got today.
Yeah.
Which was sad. And again, I just wish I could have seen more. I just want to see what Ewan looks like in the full Obi-Wan garb, like what the wardrobe looks like.
I'm sure, I don't know, I'm sure that's coming. They have to.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, like you said, it just wrapped up. They probably haven't had time to cut together a trailer. They probably haven't, done all of that. So maybe this was all they could do. Like,
Well, they're in
I
charge
don't
of
know.
planning all
It's
these
rough.
things. So, like, that's the only person, that's their fault. Like,
That's a good
I
point.
agree. I do agree.
But yeah,
Yeah, Disney Plus Day wasn't already on the calendar.
But
yeah. Though I like the concept of it, of Disney Plus Day in general. Like, I feel like as far as streaming services goes, it is really unique that, Disney's making like a whole thing about their anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they also did more for Disney Plus Day than they really did for the 50th. So
Right.
Oh. It hurts.
At least the day of the 50th. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we do have a couple. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I also wish we would have gotten an update on if they're going to do season 2 of Prop Culture, because I think that's one of the best things Disney Plus has come out with.
Oh yeah.
That was
really cool.
I do hope there's more of it.
I want more, because that was, I think out of all of the like quote unquote Parks documentaries or Parks docu-series, that's been the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Imagineering Story was also pretty high up there, I would argue.
Mm-hmm.
True.
The only unfortunate thing about that was it came out like at Disney Plus launch, and then everybody kind of forgot about it because the other one wasn't as great. They set the bar really high for themselves.
Yeah.
Disney does that. They set the bar really high for themselves and then somehow can't meet it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple other things on here that we gotta breeze through because we're almost at an hour and a half now.
Sorry.
No. If you want to stay and chat with us for the rest of them, feel free.
I will, because my boyfriend's sleeping and I'm lonely. So.
Aw.
And I get to hear Beth's voice.
Aw. It's been a while since we had you on.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
We have the least exciting news on here of a Cars series.
Yay! Next.
Ryan's gonna love it.
Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy are returning for it because they're also
thank
apparently
God.
in Disney's basement.
Yeah, what a tragedy if they had to recast them.
Did you watch the Pixar announcement on Disney Plus?
No.
Because Larry the Cable Guy is the one that announces it, and it is something.
Oh, God,
I
it
bet.
sounds like something.
The amount of times that man can fit "daggum" into a sentence is honestly a talent.
I kind of hope that this is animated, like not.
What's it gonna be?
CG
Live
animated?
action?
It's just Larry the Cable Guy driving around in a truck pretending to be Vader.
I hope it's animated too.
That would be. That actually would be kind of entertaining.
But I mean, I hope it's animated. I hope it's animated the way that like this tweet has the concept art in here, because I kind of like that style. I don't think it will be. I'm sure it's going to be straight up like the next Cars thing just on Disney Plus.
Right.
We have the documentary about the Buzz Lightyear series that I'm sure nobody's going to watch.
Wait, that's a thing that was announced?
Yeah.
Full-length
see that.
documentaries about the making of Lightyear and Turning Red.
Meanwhile, they could have.
The only reason I'd watch that is for Chris Evans.
Yeah, they're wasting their resources.
Right.
They could have had Olaf tell us the story of Lightyear.
Oh my God, Olaf as the narrator for documentaries. Yes, that's the new idea.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
They
Right,
should
Disney
just
sign
take like a David Attenborough documentary, just shot for shot, and have him do it.
Oh my God,
That would be awesome.
Amazing.
You guys remember in the good old days where like in the DVD features you could like watch the movie with like the commentary?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think with every new release Disney does have
Olaf.
like an Olaf commentary on top of it that you can like choose.
That would be great.
That would be great, man. They would make Josh Gad a rich man.
I mean, would they? Because I'm sure he's just paying his royalties to Disney at this point.
I don't know. Also, there's a feature-length documentary about the making of Turning Red, which had anybody heard anything about this?
What
Yeah,
is
it looks
that?
really
This
cute.
is.
It's
Turning
Oh.
Red.
so it's the new Pixar movie. It's about a
Oh.
girl who like is
Oh, the
going through
anger
puberty, and
thing.
every time she gets anxious or upset, she turns into a giant red panda.
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
There's a trailer
Yeah,
out
I
for
remember
it.
reading about it.
Yeah.
It looks really,
Interesting.
really cute. I'm excited for it. The trailer for it looks really, really cute. And like it's a giant red panda. Like the merchandise for that is gonna be great.
I do love me a red panda.
But a full documentary, like the movie hasn't even come out yet.
Right.
Yeah, that
Well, it's
seems
coming
like-
in 2022, and so are these movies, I guess. So they're...
Well, it was supposed to come out this month. Originally, I think it was slated for this month.
Oh, okay.
So it's been pushed back. So I wonder
Interesting.
if that's why we got an announcement for a documentary now. Because
Yeah,
originally it was going to come out, but it feels
They're
weird.
counting their chickens before they hatch.
Yeah,
Mhm.
kind of. But I liked the one that they did with Frozen. The behind the scenes of Frozen was really good. And I think if they kind of stick to the same thing, they may have a good.
Yeah,
little
but
hit
Frozen
on
is
that.
like arguably the best,
Yeah.
the biggest Disney hit of this generation.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't go wrong with that there.
And I feel like Disney's been doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff and it's been doing well. Like, I mean, after each of the Marvel series, we've gotten like the assembled episodes, and I feel like those have done really well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like
think-
they're learning from Game of Thrones. Remember how Game of Thrones had the little
After like
making of
every
things
episode.
after every episode that was so fun.
Yeah, until Game of Thrones wasn't fun anymore.
Shh, let's not talk about that.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
We also have this Pixar series called Win or Lose.
Win or lose.
I'm excited that Pixar is getting a series, but we know nothing about this.
I don't understand
I
why
think
it's
it was
about
announced
baseball.
last year,
because they
wasn't
want to put small people on a very big person.
I don't know, but it's coming in fall 2023, so it's like I don't even really want to get excited for that.
Right. It's the
picture
story
doesn't
follows
make me excited.
a middle school softball team in the week leading up to their championship game, and each episode is told from the perspective of a different character.
Oh,
Sounds
interesting.
boring.
Yeah, it kind of sounds. I'm excited that Pixar is getting a
Sports.
series, but it does not sound interesting. At
Pixar's
all.
also getting a Cars series, so I don't know
Yeah,
why
we're
you're
not going to
acting
talk
like
about that one. We're not going to talk about that one. There is no series
Yeah.
there.
I'd definitely be more likely to watch
When
the
Monsters,
softball one.
Monsters at Work,
Oh,
which
yeah,
was
that's
very
true.
good.
True.
I forgot all about that.
It's
Same.
it's
I haven't
really
watched
good.
that yet. I need to get Eli
It's
to
really
watch
cute.
that. We love monsters.
You need to get him to watch that, and then we'll record his
commentary.
review of it after.
Yes, for sure. But you can't let him know that he's being listened to, or he won't talk. We've learned.
I think it's because he can't see y'all, and I think it freaks him out. Like because there are people talking
Maybe.
and he doesn't know who they are. You know, it's just like the computer.
Maybe we should all turn our cameras on.
And it's weird, like these kids, they're so used to FaceTime. Like anytime if if we call my parents or something and they're like out of the house, he's like, I want to see their face. And I'm like, no, we're just going to talk on the phone. They like don't get it. Kids this age are so used to FaceTime that's like what they expect is to video chat every time they talk to somebody who's not with them. Pretty interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So yeah.
So we also got. What's that?
Speaking of, go ahead.
Nothing. I was just saying. So I think that's what freaks them out whenever y'all talk to him. Is like because there's no face.
Well, I will gladly turn my camera on if it means getting to hear Eli speak.
Okay.
Next new series,
which was announced. This is just like again, like
it's here.
Dani was saying, is kind of a recap of here's all the stuff we announced and just confirming that it's still happening.
Yeah.
Zootopia.
I really wanted a whole movie. I just feel like there's so much there, like just the whole world in itself, how the world is built to accommodate all like the different biomes and stuff. Like that was such a fascinating scene in the movie, and I would love to see more of that.
Well, I think really them doing a series allows them to expand on that more.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I hope that this series kind of just grows that because they have the chance to do like multiple episodes or like singular episodes about different biomes and like how, you know,
I want to see how they all work
animals
together.
live in there. Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll come to the conclusion of that at the very end. Who knows?
Or maybe they won't because they hate me.
Yeah, probably. But we can dream, right? We also got this nice. Wow.
Tiana.
We got this very nice concept art of the Tiana series.
Yes, as you can tell, obviously, I'm very excited about this. I've been very excited. Tiana! Since they announced it, I've been looking forward to it. I think this is the first kind of little blurb we've gotten about what the show is going to entail. Obviously, it's still very vague, but, you know, follows newly crowned Princess of Maldonia on a new adventure, but her New Orleans past isn't far behind. So we still don't really know what it's about, but I'm just excited to see more of her. And finally, after all these years, my favorite princess, my favorite Disney movie, starting to get the credit and fanfare that it deserves with attractions being rethemed and animated shows coming out.
I should probably watch it.
You probably should.
Yeah.
I really hope that they don't try to like make her too princessy. I hope that they
I don't
keep
think
her
they
like
will.
Yeah,
I feel like that's her whole, like, the whole charm of her is that she is the most relatable, in my opinion. That's one of the reasons she's my favorite, is because she's the only one that has, like, a job, like, someone that has to, like, work for a living that, like, you know, a traditional job, I guess. You know, obviously you had, like, Cinderella and Snow White having to, like, clean the house and stuff. But Tiana, like, who, you know, everybody's had, like, a crappy minimum wage job.
I said they didn't get paid, so I'm pretty sure they were slaves in their own way.
Well, yeah, but I guess Tiana is more relatable in the sense that she has a job that a lot of people can relate to, you know, working like a crappy job that you don't necessarily love just to make ends meet and save up for the future. Very universal concept, and I feel like because of that, hopefully they will stray from making her too princessy, especially, you know, her character is completely grounded in the sense of like hard work and being realistic. You know, obviously Naveen helps her open up a little bit to being more fun and happy-go-lucky, but I don't think that they'll drastically change her character like that.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I hope that they don't change it so much because that is what people like about her.
Right.
The amount of times I've used that gif of like Tiana hitting the alarm clock, like in bed.
Yeah.
Very
Right.
relatable.
Yes, for sure.
That and the Anna waking up in the morning. Those are like two of my most used gifts.
Mm-hmm. Those are good ones.
I'm surprised though. So Tiana was announced last year, but so was the Moana show, and we didn't get anything on Moana today.
Oh, that's interesting.
Though we did get
Thank you for
Olaf
that, Kirsten.
talking about
I can't
Moana.
hear
So
the word Moana without singing that line.
Olaf has a great line about that. So you're going to enjoy that.
I'm gonna watch that whole all those
It takes
clips
10
this
minutes.
weekend. Yeah.
It's super quick. It's too
I think
quick
I'm
in my
gonna watch
opinion.
them after we get done with this here.
Yeah, me too. I don't care what Eli's watching.
Personally, the Tangled one was the best, but it was good. It was so good.
Nice. We also have these are two separate shows, right? Because no, they're the same one.
No, they're the same.
Intertwined.
There might be that.
What is that?
No idea.
Did anybody ever read that book Turnabout when they were like in junior high? It was one of those authors that wrote a ton of like girl young adult books, and this girl had to like go back in the past and do something. I don't know. It seems interesting, but
it says 16-year-old Allegra has a great passion for musical comedies and dreams of becoming part of the musical theater group 11 O'Clock as the leading actress in Freaky Friday.
Seeing a trend here with Disney shows.
Yeah, that sounds just like that other thing.
Yeah.
But the girl version.
And then she finds a mysterious bracelet which brings her back to 1994.
What?
The year in which Katarina, who was her mother, I guess, was the same age as Allegra in the present.
In the 90s? God, how do y'all not feel ancient?
Kirsten, I work in a high school. I feel ancient every day.
I read somewhere that, you know, the 1985 song, if it came out today, it would be about like 2002 or something. And I was like, what?
That made me want to vomit. Okay, let's not talk about it anymore.
It's awful.
No, just kidding. Yeah, I made the mistake of asking one of our library aides what year they were born. They were senior in high school, and they said 2004, and it made me want to cry.
Yep.
Awful.
Checks out.
Yeah. So yeah, and so she finds a magical bracelet and time travels to make her dreams come true. Great.
So
boring.
Yeah, it doesn't sound exciting.
That's the theme for Kirsten tonight.
I'm telling you, I use that line all the time. It's from the live action Beauty and the Beast. The way he says it.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
So
we're getting. I want to talk about the next one too. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I kind of want to like lump most of these Marvel together just as like a quick hit thing.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about this first one.
The meme.
Why did they use a meme in their advertising? Because that kind of made me feel a little ancient too.
Well, apparently the meme is from the show that came out in 97.
It is. So
they used the meme to advertise for the show with the meme.
But they very meta memed it because the title of the tweet is "We missed you too. See you in 2023 with all new episodes." So they're rebooting the animated X-Men with new episodes, but the title looks the same as the artwork, so I'm assuming they're probably going to keep all of it the same. I'm confused, concerned, and a little surprised.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all I had to say about it.
Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to say the meme.
So quick hits on things that Disney reminded us that are coming out. We have Moon Knight, which actually got a trailer today, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, Miss Marvel.
Also got a trailer.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we got a trailer for that because I saw stills of it. What If Season 2, Echo, Spider-Man Freshman Year, which is an animated series, I Am Groot, which is a series, Ironheart, Agatha, House of the Harkness, Marvel Zombies, Secret Invasion, and that's pretty much it. So, any of these we want to talk about? Because I'm pretty sure most of these we already knew things about.
Yeah, I think they just released, a little additional information about some of them. Some of them got trailers.
Yeah, I
none
think
of it was really shocking.
Agatha, Echo, and Marvel Zombies were the only ones that hadn't been confirmed by Disney already. But the news has been out for a couple months now about all of those.
I feel like Marvel Zombies was just it had to happen soon because
What even is that?
The Marvel characters, but as zombies.
Yeah, it was a comic series, and then they did a singular episode on What If about it. So
the comic series is really good.
Yeah, the comic series is incredible.
Dude, honestly, I guess this is kind of spoilery about What If, but that was one of my favorite episodes because I feel like the idea of semi-intelligent zombies is not explored enough. And I thought they did a pretty good job of that here. Like how terrifying Wanda was, for example. That she was still cognizant enough to use her powers and stuff as a zombie. I was like, man, this is some scary stuff if this was, really happening.
You should read the comic because the comic is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to check it out. See if I can find it somewhere.
I just hope it leads to more zombie characters at Halloween in the parks because that was one of the coolest things Disney has done in a long time.
Yeah, man. Disneyland has really been kicking Disney World's butt when it comes to characters and experiences and stuff lately.
Are we surprised?
No, we're not surprised.
Not saying there's a superior park, but...
So any of these that you guys are really excited for? I'm excited for Miss Marvel, but I love Miss Marvel as a character, so that's exciting.
Yeah. I'm really excited for the Agatha show. I think that...
Yes, me too.
No, I'm still here. We're just talking about Marvel, so you guys know I have almost nothing to contribute.
Brian, which one are you most excited for?
I literally, I was scrolling through all these, and I'm like, I recognize Spider-Man and I recognize Groot, and I don't know what any of these other things are.
I think you should be excited for the...
She-Hulk is the Hulk but a girl, so that might help.
I do that, but thank you for confirming.
Yeah, no worries. I just want to make sure I just want to make sure you're on the Marvel level to understand,
Yeah, okay. I gotcha.
I hope that this next phase of shows is also accessible to people that did not watch the last Marvel movies, but as we learned with Loki, it probably will not be.
No, it won't.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point of Marvel. I think that's what has made Marvel work, especially in the early days, is all that connection. Yeah. And I don't think until it stops working, they're not going to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Right. This is what I told Brian, and I would tell everybody out there who has not caught up on all the Marvel movies and stuff. It's just start and do it because you're never going to catch up if you don't start.
Yeah,
that's what I finally did. But it's daunting because whenever
it is daunting, I'm sure.
I should watch them, whatever. But then the more and more that came out, I was like, holy crap, I don't have time for this. But
I think it
I've
gets
been
more
pleasantly
daunting.
Surprised, especially as not being a big superhero, I don't know, person. I've been pleasantly surprised. I was, what I was most shocked by was Ant-Man. That was a good movie.
I knew you were going to say that.
That was so good.
Ant-Man's phenomenal.
I also think it gets more daunting because they're releasing more series now, which is why I'm I hope that they step away from some of the interconnections. They can still kind of tie them together, but I don't think it's fair to be oh, well, you have to watch these 20 movies, 5 series, and 3 mini-series to understand everything that's happening right now, because that's just gonna, you're gonna hook the people that are hooked already, but you're not opening that door any more than it needs to be.
Right.
So, giving a little Nathaniel, my boyfriend, doesn't like he's never been a Marvel fan. And then he understood that part of the terms and conditions of dating me is watching every single Marvel movie.
Good condition.
We haven't watched them totally in order because like I was like, oh, you need to see Ant-Man, like that's a must, like, and we've been doing it that way, and he's still been able to understand what's going on. And then he watched all of the Marvel series with me and was able, without having seen all of the previous movies, he had some questions, but like for the most part understood what was going on.
Yeah.
We learned that doesn't work for everybody, right, Brian?
I mean, I think it depends on what you watch, because to be completely honest, the first MCU movie I ever saw was Thor. So there had been a couple out already. And then I didn't watch them as they came out after that. I just watched them sporadically. And then one day I decided, I'm like, when a couple years into me and Laz's relationship, he's a big Marvel person. He's like, let's just go watch them all in chronological order of like the timeline, not when they were released, so you can catch up. And I'm really glad that I did, because now, you know, the longer you wait, the more daunting it's going to get. So you might as well start somewhere.
Yeah.
So start where you can.
Yeah, Brian. That's what you need to be doing at 3 a.m.
I mean, if Nathaniel Nathaniel has seen Endgame, but not Infinity War.
That's a weird thing to do.
And will not watch it just out of pure spite at this point.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, if he got that, I think, you know, and I think like Xiangchi, I always mess it up. Xiangchi and Eternals really did well at, like, if you've never seen a Marvel movie, you could still enjoy those.
Yeah. And, you know, honestly, I don't really feel like you have to watch the series except for maybe Loki. I feel like the series are for people who are already in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, even Loki is probably, you should wait until you've watched the movies to watch it. But I do think it's going to come into play a lot going forward.
I think WandaVision.
So, well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
you don't have to watch them yet.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, I don't even think that's going to come up. Really,
yeah, I feel like that's
Well,
inconsequential.
I feel like the consequences of that are pretty much already laid out in other movies.
This is what happens every time we have this conversation.
Yeah, all right. We
don't have to watch them all, but make sure you watch this one. Also, don't forget about this one. And by the time we get to the end of it, it's just a list of all the Marvel movies.
You don't have to watch them all, but watch them all.
You don't need to watch Thor: Dark World. At least that one, I promise you can skip that one.
And what did I hate? Doctor Strange? That was weird. Oh, I don't like that.
I love Doctor Strange.
No, it was weird. Skip that one, Brian.
Okay.
No,
definitely don't.
You can't skip that one.
I think personally,
I
think
love Thor: Dark World, but you can. I say with pain, skip it.
This is why it will never happen.
Yeah.
I need you to make a spreadsheet of like green ones you have to watch, yellow like maybe you should, and like red like you can skip these. Beth, get on that spreadsheet.
And most of them were green.
I was about to say, it's going to be nothing but green list.
I also think that Brian would very much like Doctor Strange as a character.
Oh yeah,
he's great.
Because Brian and Doctor Strange have the same sense of humor. The same incredibly dry sense of humor.
That's the one with Benedict Cumberbatch, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we are pushing an hour and a half with this episode, so we got to wrap it up. Anything that you guys are super excited for?
Yeah.
Just in general. Okay.
Olaf. Olaf right now.
Yeah.
Kristen, please put your thoughts. Please live tweet it in the Discord for us.
Okay.
I'm not joking. Please do that.
I will. It's going to be a bunch of oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, Olaf is the best sidekick of all time. Oh my God.
It's true.
I'm excited for our royalty check from that one.
Because,
I'm
going to write a letter.
Yeah, an original Kirsten concept.
I'm going to write a letter.
We've already found that Disney listens to this podcast almost weekly, right? That's
true. Go back and find that episode that you said it on and send them a copy and say, here's where I came up with this concept. Where are my royalties?
You'll be speaking with our lawyers.
Please
stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.